the man who is entering his 29th season as voice of the New York Yankees, currently on the Fan in New York City. He is the great John Sterling here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, John?
Well, I'm fine, but I do have to correct you. It's my 30th
year.
season.
See, that's how he started. That's how he started.
I began in 89.
30th season, calling games of the New York Yankees. 30th. What does that mean to you, John, that number?
I'm getting old.
Come on now, John.
The years have passed so quickly, and when I left Atlanta, and they told me at TBS, you can do the Hawks forever, but I didn't want to become an old man and say, I should have done the Yankees. So I took the job. I had a 2-year deal with an option for the third, and it's worked out better than I could have ever dreamt. And frankly, the years just fly by. It's been terrific.
Now, the '89 Yankees, I just remember off the top of my head. I mean, that was for some dark times, man.
They were awful. I mean, '89, '90, and '91, and then Gene Michael took over as GM. Buck Showalter was hired as manager, and they, improved from that point on. And since then, not only have in my time they've won 5 World Series, lost 2 series, but they've been in the playoffs almost every year. So it's been terrific for me.
All right, let's get into this year's team, since a lot of people are putting their markers on them as preseason World Series favorites. How's Aaron Boone been around this team so far? What does it look like around him, John?
Well, he's a really nice guy. I've been friends with Booney for a long time, and I mention this because he's such an open guy. Every time ESPN would do a Yankee game, and they did a lot of them, and, he would come into the booth to schmooze with Susan and myself. And I think, that I think he'll be tough when he has to, but I think he's a very good choice by the Yankees. Now, one thing, you can be the nicest guy or the best guy or the smartest guy. It doesn't matter if you don't have players. And, the Yankee team is absolutely loaded, and I guess the only thing that could go wrong would be starting pitching. Their bullpen's great, and they have a terrific lineup. So, Cleveland and Boston and Houston are all terrific teams, so it figures to be a very good year.
So when it all comes down to it, though, John, everyone thinks you just roll the baseballs out and this team's just going to start hitting like crazy, and it won't really matter what the starting pitching looks like. Certainly with the back end, all you got to do is just have a lead by the 6th inning. Tell me where I'm wrong on that front. Why some people might be wrong about that.
No, you're very right. That's the way to look at it. But, nothing is quite that simple. One thing when people make these predictions, Rich, which is the fun part of our business, everyone makes them, but it's so silly. First of all, Houston won the championship last year, and they got Justin Verlander, who won them the championship on the final day. It went down to the last few minutes when he finally agreed to go to Houston. Now, who's going to go somewhere this year? Secondly, you're going to have injuries, and the question is how many get hurt, who will get hurt, and how long they're out. So everyone can predict, but doesn't really mean anything until you see the games played.
Yeah, and there's Garrett Cole too down there. I mean, they got better, and they've got a hell of a manager too. I love A.J. Hinch, and I love what they've been able to put together there. I've got John Sterling entering his 30th season calling Yankee baseball in the booth here on the Rich Eisen Show. What should concern people about Aaron Judge in a sophomore slump? And we saw what happened from July to about mid-September last year, post All-Star break, home run derby victory for him, John.
Well, I think there was something wrong with his shoulder. He had that corrected in the off season, and he's kind of indicated might have happened in the home run hitting contest where he wowed the world with those tremendous home runs. But I don't have a crystal ball. But one thing, Judge hit 284, and he had an on base of 422. And he runs very well and plays great defense in right field. So, is he going to hit? I would think so. And he has so much talent surrounding him. If he bats second and Stanton bats third and Bird bats fourth and Sanchez bats fifth and Didi hits sixth, I mean, they really have a good lineup. So, I don't think he'll have any excuses. He's very healthy. And, I think he'll Not only do I think he'll get on base, I told Boone this, Rich. I did a couple of shows during the winter on the Fan, and Boone came on the air, and I gave him my lineup. I've got a lot of chutzpah. I gave him my lineup, and I wanted Judge and Stanton to hit back-to-back because I think it would take so much out of the pitchers to retire them, and then you have all these good hitters behind him. So I really expect Judge to have a very good year. I don't know if he'll hit 50 homers. I don't know if Stanton will hit 59 homers. They got a whole bunch of guys who hit home runs, and the ball flies out in Yankee Stadium. So, I'm an optimist anyway. But it's pretty easy to be an optimist with this team.
All right, let's get down to brass tacks, John Sterling. You know what a big fan of yours that I am. And last time you were on, we gave you a line for Didi Gregorius for a home run, if you recall that, okay?
Oh, I've used it.
I heard you did use it, and it was...
Excuse me, I have to cough.
Please. There's John Sterling. The cough
Excuse
button.
me.
No problem.
Not only have I used it, but I give you name credit all the time. I want you to know.
John, it warms the heart. There's no other way to put it. So if you don't mind, I've got a couple other ideas for you.
Please.
First of all, let's hear your home run call of a Giancarlo Stanton blast this spring. Roll it, please, for John.
Swung on and hit in the air to deep right center. It is high. It is far. It is gone. A Stantonian home run. A 2-run blast to deep right center. And the Yankees take a 5-1 lead.
Okay, so now Stantonian, is that your just I want to go through the process here. Where did you come up with Stantonian, John?
Well, I don't. I mean, it's just easy, Stantonian. Mm-hmm. But I have. I'm going to do something very different.
Okay.
For him, and I can't release it till he hits one in the regular season. But I will say this:
yes.
There's a contest on FAN, and where someone can win $10,000 if they can predict what I'm going to say, and it's going to be an Italian phrase, so I don't think anyone will get it. And I hope it works. It may not work. It may die.
Oh, so you're going to play off his first name, not his last name.
Right.
Oh.
It's going to be Giancarlo, and then it's going to be an Italian phrase that rhymes, and I hope it works.
Okay,
wow.
So hold on a second.
I mean, I'm open. What do you got for me?
Okay, here, hold on. Okay. Okay, if you will, here's my submission, and I did it doing my best John Sterling impersonation. Let's play this for John Sterling here on the Rich Eisen Show, please.
Here's the 1-2 to Giancarlo. Swung on and driven to deep right. It is hard. It is far. It is gone. A 3-run home run as Giancarlo hits it a Stanton, and he gets a Stanton ovation from the Yankee crowd as he knocks in the Sanchina. And all rise for Judge Scope as the Yankees take a 10-1 lead over Brockman's Red Sox. Suck it!
Okay, so leave off that last part. That was just a direct foray to my compadre, Chris Brockman, who loves the Red Sox. What do you think, though, John?
Well, I hadn't thought of it. I love Stanton ovation. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might use that every now and then.
Hits it a Stanton? What do you think of that?
He hit it a Stanton?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's okay. It's no make Yankee fans
euphorious.
Gregorius.
That's right. Okay. All right. No, that's fine. That's fine. No, we're spitballing here, John. We're working it through
but
here.
You gave me one that's not bad, so
okay. Also, when Brandon Drury, if he knocks in Judge, right?
Oh, I have. I don't want to give them out. I have one for Brandon Drury that I hope will work.
Okay.
And it has to do with. You're right. It has to do with Judge. So that would be easy to figure out.
Okay. Yeah, like the pitcher can't handle the truth. Right? We got that one for Drury. If he steals a base, it's a runaway Drury, John. I'm just trying to leave nuggets here.
You know what I like, though? I like the fact that you're very, very established. I mean, you're a quote-unquote big star in the business, and you really like all my nonsense, which is great.
John.
There are a lot of critics who don't like it, by the way.
Well, I don't know who those people are.
Yeah. I don't know who they are either, and I don't really care. So it's, everything has worked very well. So.
They just don't appreciate good John Sterling for home run calls. They just don't
Nonsense.
appreciate it. That's
Yeah.
it. Well, look, what a great 30th season for you to be calling. I mean, it's all stacked.
I've been looking forward to this so much. And, last year, Rich, one thing happened. I just mentioned it on the air during whatever. We've done 4 straight exhibition games. The 6 home games the Yankees played, 1 against Minnesota, 2 against Cleveland, and 3 against Houston. Obviously, they're sold out. I mean, that's New York. The crowd was just as good as it was in the old stadium. You know, they say, well, the new stadium's too big. You know, it was the 6 games were thrilling. The Yankees won all 6, and they scored a lot of runs. That's another reason to look forward to this. In New York, the expectations are through the roof.
I bet.
So there's an old line by Buck Showalter. The fans don't come to see the Yankees play; they come to see them win, and so the expectations are very high. And I think it's going to be a great season. Yankees in Boston, what a great rivalry, and then the other good teams in the league, Houston and Cleveland, and there are many more. But
well, sure. We're out here in Los Angeles. Your former booth mate before Susan Waldman, Charlie Starn, has been calling Dodger games. The fans out here for the World Series, it was insane out here too. You got the Dodgers. You have the Giants out here on the left coast that have gone ahead, got Longoria, got McCutchen, and it's an every other years thing for them, and it's their every other year for them. I'm probably missing a couple other ones. There's always Bryce Harper in Washington, the team across
and the Cubs. No,
the Cubs.
They're a bunch of good
it's
teams.
Fun. It's fun, John.
One thing though, in the old days, you could predict a team is going to win the World Series. But nowadays, you have to go through 3 playoff series. It's just not that easy. And the first one is a 5-game series. Mm-hmm. And then if you don't win, if you're the wild card, you have a 1-game thing, which is really scary. So, but it'll play out, and we'll see what happens. But wouldn't that be a great World Series, Yankees and Dodgers?
Well, I know there's 28 other teams that will raise their hands and say something else, but I hear you, John. It would be just like the mid-'70s all over again. And look, I appreciate the call, John. Again, hits it a Stanton. That's the one that you're going to put maybe in the inbox, discard the others. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think I may use Stanton Ovation.
Stanton Ovation. Very good. I like it.
That's what you did. So thank you.
I give you a Stanton Ovation for your 30th season in a row, John. Thanks for calling in,
sir.
You bet.
And by the way, are your AT&T studios really nice?
They are. They're. Please come by. Will you come by here? When you come
I'd love it.
We'd love to have you.
Where are you?
I'm in El Segundo, California.
In El Segundo, near the airport. Good.
Right near the airport. So when you're coming in for the Angels games, we're up to 405. Come on anytime, John.
Okay. Listen, I thank you. It's always a treat going on with you, and be well, and I'll talk to you again.
There, you got it. Right back at you. That's John Sterling.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.